In the books, just what are your early impressions?
I mean, we did a good job. Everybody was engaged, intense. Like we said yesterday, singular focus of those pillars that Scott was talking about. So it was really fun.
How do you see Dennis getting acclimated with everything?
Dennis is a pro. He's been playing professional basketball since he was 16. So he caught on real fast. He's super smart. Gets the ball up the court fast, so it's gonna be a really easy transition.
Zach wants you guys to be the most conditioned or one of the best conditioned teams in the NBA. Is that the dog days of summer right now, where you guys run a bunch and try to get into that conditioning?
Yeah, I mean, individually, I always feel like I've always been one of the best conditioned guys, so it's never something hard for me. I think it's something that you take on as the type of player you want to be. You got to be conditioned, but for the entire team, we have to be if they want us to be picking up 94 feet. So, I think everybody's going to be in good condition.
What does the first day of a training camp kind of look like in maybe a common thread? I mean, you guys are all working out over a month for each other mainly now, and is there a big shock to the system when you come into the first week?
No, but it's very it's a little bit more focused. A little more team-oriented. In the summertime, you might do drills with guys, like 2 or 3 dudes, or you might get your individual work in. You might scrimmage, but now we're putting in plays, certain emphasis, certain defense assignments, and building the foundation of what we're doing. So it's a lot more focused.
With that conditioning you have, how much do you enjoy getting to play with pace, and how much do you feel like this team in general caters to that?
Yeah, I mean, put me in space. I've always been pretty good. So. We're getting out wide. If we get stops on the other end, and we get out and we play with pace to get easy threes or easy basket at the rim, that's the type of game that we want to play. So we don't have to play to that.
When you look at the things that
in the league, is it this collection of talent? With a lot of guys that are really established in the league as stars, and young guys that have kind of made their way, then even younger guys who are trying to make their way. Is this a little bit of a unique group in your experience in the NBA, and how exciting is that to kind of have guys in totally different journeys of their careers all coming together on one team?
I played in every situation, from rebuilding teams to teams that we were number 1 in the East, and the teams that were a little bit worse than that and rebuilt. So this is just another situation where you got to play with what you're given, and we got to play to the identity of our team. We got guys that are established, have been all-stars, and are going to go on and continue to play and have great careers. And we got rookies that haven't played before, and guys that are fighting for contracts. So, I think that's a good mesh, and it's going to be on everyone to uplift everyone as well.
This is Doug's first day of training camp as a head coach. You've played for a number of coaches. How do you assess just how he's doing with the job and taking care of business so far?
Doug's been great, man, and he has a great supporting staff as well. I think that's what means the most to him, is he has a bunch of guys that he trusts, to the left and right of him, to where he might even not have to do as much talking and as much of the heavy lifting, and he can use his voice in areas that he wants to. So I'm just glad he's comfortable, and he's not looking over his shoulder. That's always a great feeling.
When you look at the things Dennis does defensively, how important is it for him to set the tone, and can that kind of influence like the rest of the group right from the start?
Yeah, I mean, Dennis has always been a guy that gets after it defensively, and with him being the point guard of the team, his voice speaks volumes. But I think it's not just him; it has to be on all of us. From me to Domas, DeMar, all the way down. If we take an emphasis on that side, everyone has to follow.
Competing
vocally,
against.
Who was big today? Who was speaking up vocally?
I think everybody was. I know you guys always want to pick out somebody like who has the best voice and who's the leader. It's unless you have somebody that's a big talker on the team. Everyone has used their voice individually, and I don't. I speak up when I need to, obviously, and then DeMar speaks to the group. Doug talks, Dennis says some stuff. Malik doesn't stop talking. So, it's a bunch of that stuff, but it's even Keegan said something today, so I think it was good.
Competing against Dennis, seeing him be kind of that agitator at times, what kind of benefit is having someone like that on your team when you guys go out?
Dennis is a dude that you hate to play against, but love him on your team. Yeah. We played against her a number of times over the last years, and he's a really good player. That's why all these teams want him as well. He's been to a lot of these different places, but he's being asked to go there because he's wanted. So I'm glad he's here.
Zach, when you got here last season, there was a lot going on, right? You guys were fighting for your spot in the standings. Now with the full off-season, a summer together now into training camp, what would you say the vibes of the team is off the court?
It's good, I hope it is. It's the first day. It can't be bad. You know, we ain't got nothing bad to think about right now. Everyone has a clean slate, you know, and that's how we have to look at it. Even if you're an underdog, you know, you take that upon yourself, put a chip on your shoulder, and try to go prove people wrong. You know, even people here, you gotta, you know, you can take any ounce of motivation as you can. I think that's what helps us out.
Not bad. There's a little bit of focus on Keegan being more aggressive and assertive. Like, what would you say, you know, to him, or what do you feel like the keys are for him to take that step as a player?
I mean, Keegan does so many things well. He's a big-time defensive player for us. He's playing the 4, which is really out of position for him for us. You know, he's a 3, but he can play the 4. He shoots the hell out the ball, but even in college, like, he could post up, he could dribble, he can get to the hole. So just him having those opportunities. And you know, I told him, I was like, look, when I throw you the ball up, just don't catch and hold it, and you know, turn around and look for somebody. Like, go get it. You know, this isn't something that where you have to look over your shoulder and try to find somebody. Go try to get your buckets, or go explore, and then I'll always be right here for you. So I think it's an opportunity for him. Obviously, we have a lot of guys on the team that, you know, that shoot the ball and do what they do out there. You know, me, DeMar, you know, even Domas when he's aggressive, but you know, in spots where, you know, he's out there and he's the second option, or if he has it going, we're gonna go to him. You know, at least I am.
Thanks, Zach.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Zach.
All right, y'all.
Zach.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.